This is a story of our first attempt at bikepacking, a two-nighter in the Brecon Beacons in Wales. To keep things simple, we decided to spend the first night in a campsite, but planned to spend the second night wild camping somewhere around Talybont Reservoir.
That was unbelievable then. Working so hard.
After spending forever squashing everything into packs, tying them to the bikes and deciding which last-minute things we could do without, we set off into a brutal and unending climb that eventually gave way to a fast-moving road across the top.
What's the ice cream?
Our destination for the night was somewhere around Talybont Reservoir, and we had a rough route, but with our homes on the bikes and in the spirit of unscripted adventure, we headed off-piste across the mountains. It was a bit of a gamble, but we knew roughly where we were going. Gamble paid off, as the mountaintops were a load of fun to ride. It was the first proper off-road we'd done. That was a good test of the bags. We just kind of swooped around the side of the mountain, and there's some other people there on bikes in the distance. The sun was out. I think we had a tailwind as well. It was just a really awesome place to be riding. The mud and rock of the mountains soon gave way to tarmac again, and we started heading downhill towards some of the towns we'd be passing through, where we hoped to pick up lunch. It was a good thing too, because the bikes basically weighed the same as an e-bike but without an engine. We passed the time talking about places we'd like to adventure to next, like the Pyrenees or the mountains in northern Spain. After lunch we headed back out into the wild, managed to pick up some dried food for later, topped up with the water, and we even managed to cram some beers into the already full bags. Unfortunately, the excitement of the beer was short-lived, as I managed to spike an entire can on the only tree for miles around. Unfortunately, no footage of the beer explosion exists. One of the really cool things about travelling in this way is being able to take your time and explore new places, like this old quarry we found travelling across the ridge of the mountains. You could see the valley where the reservoir was off into the distance, so we skirted around the top of the mountain and prepared to descend down and look for somewhere to camp. The trail eventually started heading downhill, and we followed the trail around the mountain, and that's when we got our first glimpse of the reservoir. It was really cool to see, and we almost immediately started talking about places to camp. trail continued downhill as we headed towards the reservoir, and we bumped into a bunch of guys who were travelling the other way, and they advised us that there was a quick and steep way down to get to the reservoir quickly. We soon realised the trail was steeper and rougher than planned, which quickly turned Ted's bike into a pinata of camping equipment. He urged us to go on ahead and find somewhere to camp while he sorted his bike out. To help aid our fallen comrade, we propped a gate open with a stick and progressed down the trail as it seemed to get steeper and rockier the further we went.
I don't even want to know where that goes.
I'm sort of exploring on this kind of...
Yeah, there's no hurry, is there? Because we're... Oh, what's that?
I mean, give him a ring, a warning.
Yeah, by the way, it's fucking carnage.
The day was not in vain, however, and we all made it off the hill and managed to rendezvous, finding a place to camp alongside the water's edge, which was amazing. And to top the day off, we managed to ride into town to get a load of beer and food.
But I just opened up there was like a flat roof outside my bedroom, climbed out of the window, threw my duvet off the third floor. Mum's like, Ted, why is there a duvet in the garden?
The next morning, having not been murdered in our sleep or having our bikes stolen, we packed up the camp, headed over the dam, and started the final leg of our journey home. In contrast to the previous day, today's ride was mostly along the canal, so it's reasonably flat and we were able to cover a lot of miles very quickly.
I'm almost tempted to do it, you know. What happened with all the bags?
We were really fortunate the weather was so nice, and on the ride home we reflected on the weekend, the things we brought that we didn't use, and the things we bring next time. We finished the day sitting on deck chairs by the canal, drinking beer and having a sandwich. I couldn't think of a better way to finish the day. And of course, we spent that time talking about new bikes we'd buy to go bikepacking and places we'd go.